You're listening to episode number 12 of Overprescribed. Welcome to Overprescribed, the show that raises America's awareness on pharmaceutical medications in this country, all in an effort to help you, the everyday consumer, to live the safest, healthiest, and most informed medication experience possible. Hi, I'm your host, Mika Pollack, and today's show is dedicated to every single person that has ever been harmed by a medication, whether it was proven or not. Your opinion and your feedback on what you believe has happened to your body, it matters. It counts. And if you're not working with a healthcare provider that is listening to you or hearing you out, then that's not fair. And you deserve someone who will listen to you. The honest truth about today's episode is that I wasn't even supposed to be talking about this. I had a completely different episode in mind, one that will definitely air in the future. But we experienced some technical difficulties that couldn't be fixed in time for our every Friday episode releases. And so I decided to just take a quick moment and give ourselves a chance to just talk and give myself a chance to speak to the consumers out there in this country who aren't being heard. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go further with my dedication by letting you know that I was inspired today by someone I spoke with for almost 3 hours. That's right, 3 hours. And I honestly don't think I even realized we were talking that long until about the 2.5 hour mark. Now, I won't mention his name, but he knows who he is. And as a matter of fact, I hope to have him on the show one day, and so that you'll know who he is and you'll hear his story too. To me, he represents every single one of us that walks in the door of our local clinic or doctor's office to get treated and is prescribed a medication that we trust to help us and not harm us. He represents the innocence of our trust and the unpredictability of when that trust is broken. He represents what happens on the other side of the over 4 billion prescriptions that were written last year, where without warning, some of us may have found ourselves in situations of medication harm. Medication harm that may have been preventable. The person I spoke with today was a regular person who wanted treatment and was not prepared and could never have even fathomed what could happen from taking a medication exactly as prescribed by their doctor. You know, just doing exactly what the dosing instructions state on the bottle. And it makes me very concerned about how certain medications or how uncertain medication response in humans can be. Now, does it mean that everybody who's walking out of their local drugstore and going home to take their medicines will become sicker from taking their medication? Of course not. But every medication comes with side effects or adverse drug reactions. And whether those are mild or severe, whether you experience none or one or many, whether you realize you've experienced a side effect from a drug soon after taking it or years down the line, the bottom line is that adverse drug reactions happen. Since launching Overprescribed 2 months ago, I've talked with people through email, over the phone, all about what they're going through. What's concerning them about medications? What sort of difficulties they have had to experience because of medication they trusted to treat or cure and not do any harm. However, I've also received emails and phone calls from healthcare professionals. These are people who know that there's more that can be done to protect U.S. consumers, and they've even shared with me how they're trying to do what they can to make those changes happen. And the patient groups on Facebook are never deficient on someone sharing their story of medication harm or someone sharing their story of medication success. If you knew nothing at all about a single medication, if you're in any of these groups, like I am, it may make you confused about what to take and what not to take, what's safe and what's not, what's going to work and what's not going to do anything. Well, there are individual differences. Now, the person I talk with today also made me think of another big issue about what's happening to so many people in America, so many American consumers of FDA-approved medications. And that is that they are not being fully informed about medications from their healthcare team. So I'm talking about whether it's their doctor, their nurse, their physician assistant, their pharmacist, the people really close to that point of prescribing. Everyday consumers are not receiving enough informed consent 100% of the time. And the one reoccurring comment that I have heard in more than one patient forum, regardless of the medication that the forum was created to discuss, is the statement of, "I wish I knew. I wish I knew about the potential side effects before I took it. I wish I knew or wish I was warned by my doctor to watch out for hallucinations or possible hair loss. I wish I knew that taking this drug would have changed my life so dramatically that I would have never worked again. I would never drive again. I would never have good vision again, or that I would never live a happy life again. I wish I knew about that black box warning." So informed consent is something we need to improve on. Consumers can ask for more information while meeting with their healthcare provider. Take your pharmacist to the side, ask them questions. Healthcare providers can make a better effort to disclose or even warn patients of different precautions or risk of the drug, even if they're scary. Even if you're not really sure if it will happen to them and it's on the label or it's out there in a medication guide. The reality of what you as a consumer is facing, especially if you are someone who has been harmed by medication, again, whether it's confirmed or suspected harm, is very real. And it's the reality that we are all facing in America. Now, I don't want to scare anyone into never taking a single medication ever again, because that's not practical advice. But I am mentioning all this because medication harm is real in this country. And the one thing that we can all do when taking a medication is to pay attention to our bodies. For everyone who has been harmed by medication, you are not alone, you are not crazy, and you are not to blame for trusting your medication. And let me talk with the support system of people who have been harmed by medications. Your compassion and your understanding is needed. If you've already given that, then continue. It's appreciated. And there's much gratitude there for your support, for the support that you're providing. Every day I read a story about someone who has had life-changing, traumatic experiences directly caused by a medication. Every single day, I read these stories, and I just couldn't let a moment go by, even if just for a quick moment, to acknowledge those people who have been harmed by medications and take my opportunity to dedicate this show to them. Hey, are you enjoying the Overprescribed podcast? Then do us a favor, leave us a review and share the podcast with your friends and family. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and you can even write to us at talk@overprescribedpodcast.com. Oh, and one last thing before we end this really, really quick episode this week. Remember that episode I did with Dr. Christy Huff? I believe it was episode number 6. It was about benzodiazepines. Well, next week on July 11th, it's World Benzodiazepine Day. That's right, World Benzodiazepine Day. I'm going to include a link to it in the show notes, promoted on social media on July 11th, but I wanted to mention it to you as well. Please visit the link that I plan to share about this special day to learn more about how you can support. And I especially want you to check out the link if you know nothing at all about benzodiazepines. I promise that you will find out something that you did not know that could maybe save you or someone in your family from undue medication harm. As a matter of fact, I'm also going to include a link to the nonprofit that Dr. Christy Huff works for as well, because they have a wealth of information that I think you would find valuable too. Okay, as always, thanks for listening.